Hey guys, it's the beginning of May and there's a bunch of new books coming out, so I wanted to give you a rundown of the books that are coming out this month that I'm really excited about. The first book I want to talk to you about is called Between the Lives by Jessica Shivington, and it comes out on May 1st. She is also the author of the Embrace series, and I just recently read the third book in that series, and I really like her a lot. So I heard this book was coming out, and I was super excited to check it out. Basically, it's the story of the main character, Sabine, who lives two same but different lives, and every 24 hours she switches between the two. So in one life, she doesn't have a brother, and the other one she does. In one, she's a straight-A student, and the other, she's a juvenile delinquent. So there's different social expectations, wealth, things like that. And in one world, on one day, she breaks her arm, and she switches to the other world, and her arm is just fine. So it's basically just a story of her journey to kind of figure out what's going on, and she starts doing experiments to see if she can crack this and get into one world instead of the two. The next book is called Invisibility by Andrea Kramer and David Levithan, and it comes out on May 7th. It's a story of main character, Stephen, who has been invisible for his whole life. His grandfather put a curse on his mother while he was still in the womb, and so he's been invisible since as far as he can remember. One day, the other main character, Elizabeth, moves into his New York City apartment, and you can imagine his surprise when she can see him. So it's kind of the story of their journey, and he confides in her. There's like a relationship blooming, but they hit some bumps in the road when his grandfather comes to town. So, like I said, it's just kind of a story of that journey of trying to see if he can become mortal and, no longer invisible. So, the next book is called Chantress by Amy Butler Greenfield, and it is part of the Chantress series. It's book number 1, and it comes out on May 7th. It's the story of the main character, Lucy, who has been shipwrecked on an island for 7 years. And when she was shipwrecked, she was told never ever to sing, or, bad things would follow. She learns that she is a chantress, or like a spell singer. And eventually she does end up back home to England and discovers that this guy named the Lord Protector is ruling her city or her town. And he also has his minions called the Shadowgrims, which are basically like mind-reading hunters, working with him as well. And the Shadowgrims have killed all of the Chantresses in this town, because the Chantress is the only one that can kill a Shadowgrim. And so the main character, Lucy, is actually the only Chantress that's still alive. And it's basically a story of her journey and her struggle to defeat this Lord Protector and try to stay alive long enough. The next book is called The Lake House by Marcy Knoll, and it comes out on May 7th. It's the story of two girls, Victoria and Heather, who meet each other at this lake house in this small community, and they're both dealing with a lot of personal problems, a lot of things in the past, things they should have done but didn't, and feeling a lot of regret. So they go to this community, and they're just trying to work through that and trying to find acceptance with themselves and the community and each other, and it just sounded like a really good story, so I'm excited for that. The next book is called Mystic by Alison Noel, and it is part of the Soul Seeker series. It's book number 3, and it comes out on May 7th. I actually haven't read any of the books in this series before, so I didn't read anything about what this specific book was about because I don't want to ruin anything for myself and give myself any spoilers. So I don't know 100% what the series is about, but it is something I've been wanting to read for a long time, and I've had plenty of recommendations to read it. I just honestly haven't had the time, or I haven't found the book at the library yet. But it is like a paranormal romance book, so I'm really excited to check this one out. The next book is called Truth or Dare by Jacqueline Green, and it is part of the Truth or Dare series. It's book number 1, and it comes out on May 14th. It's a story of 3 girls who are basically like at a party, and they're playing Truth or Dare with their friends, and long after the party is over, they keep receiving these dares and things to do, or their deepest, darkest secrets are going to be threatened and spilled out to the world. So it does sound a little bit like the Pretty Little Liars series or The Lion Game, both by Sarah Shepard, and I really like both of those series, and the mystery behind it and trying to figure it out and who it actually is. So I'm really excited to read this one to see how it compares to the two of those. The next book is called Golden by Jessie Kirby, and it comes out on May 14th. It's the story of the main character, Parker, who basically dives into a local town mystery. There was a couple whose Jeep had ended up in the river, or like the lake, and no bodies had ever been found. So you're left with a town of people that are really sad after this, and they have absolutely no closure. So she ends up finding like a journal of the girl that was in this accident, and reading it to find clues and see if she can figure this out. And she enlists the help of her best friend and her longtime crush to assist her in it as well. Next we have School Spirits by Rachel Hawkins, and it is part of the School Spirit series, and it comes out on May 14th. I recently read the Hex Hall series by Rachel Hawkins. I finished the last book in the beginning of the year, and I really, really liked it, and so this story is kind of a spin-off of that series. If you have read the Hex Hall series, you meet a family in the third book called the Brannicks, and they hunt magical creatures. And School Spirits is a story of that family, but specifically one of the daughters, Izzy. And basically, you know, like I said, they hunt magical creatures, and one day her sister is out hunting and just randomly goes missing. So her mom kind of decides, you know, this is too much for us right now, we're going to move to a new town and just start over, be super normal for a little bit, just, you know, take a break. So they move and they expect everything to be super normal. But there's a bunch of hauntings that are plaguing the school, and so Izzy decides, you know, like, I want to do something to help, like, I can do this. And she decides to start investigating what's going on and figure this out. And she makes a new friends along the way and enlists them to help her. The next book is called Parallel by Lauren Miller, and it comes out on May 21st. It is a science fiction story, and it's about basically like parallel universes. The main character, Abby, is on a Hollywood set one day and wakes up the next morning, and she's in a dorm room at Yale and has absolutely no idea how she got there. And so her and her best friend kind of set out to figure out what could have caused this and how in the world she got there. And they learned that basically due to like a cosmic collision in like parallel universes, that she's now living in a parallel universe of her own life. And so it's just kind of a story of her, you know, journey to kind of figure that out and get back to her normal life. The next book is called 1,000 Words by Jennifer Brown, and it comes out on May 21st. It's the story of the main character, Ashley, who is dating a boy named Caleb, and at a party her friends dare her to send a naked photo to him because he is going off to college soon and she wants him to have something to remember her by, or, you know, so he won't forget her and move on to someone else while he's in college. You know, so he goes away to college and they end up going through a pretty bad breakup, and he ends up sending the photo to all of his baseball team. And the photo circulates to everyone else in town, and the police end up getting involved, and it's kind of the story of, you know, Ashley's journey with this, and, you know, her betrayal and the way everyone views her after this, and the regret of sending that photo in the first place. And this last book is called Goddess by Jacqueline Angelini. It's book number 3 in the Star-Crossed series, and it comes out on May 28th. And I've actually wanted to read the Star-Crossed series for a long time as well. It's been on my want-to-read shelf in Goodreads for a while, but I honestly just haven't got around to it yet either. But the cover work is really beautiful. I didn't read anything about it once again because I don't want any spoilers, but it is, once again, a paranormal romance, but it is very mythological based and has like a lot of elements of the gods and goddesses in it, so I'm really excited to check it out. Okay, well those are all the books I have for you guys today, but keep in mind these aren't the only books that I want to read that are coming out in May. If you want a complete list, you can go to my Goodreads and look at my upcoming books to read shelf, and I've got plenty of books listed in there, some that come out in May, June, you know, far out past the end of the year, and I'll keep them on that shelf until June. So definitely, you know, go and check that out. And if I forgot any books at all, definitely make sure to let me know down below in the comments. Just put something down there, and I'll definitely try to check those out. Also, I just want to give you guys an update that I might not be doing a book review for a while still. A lot of the books that I'm reading currently or have read in the last few weeks have all been books and part of a series. And I don't want to do a book review in a series that I'm like midway through, so I'm going to wait till I finish all of those series, probably do reviews like in one video for the entire series. And also a big shout out to my boyfriend who got me a brand new editing system. The one I was using for my last vlog or so was very, very bad. So I finally have a good editing system. I can actually do stuff with them. So I'll probably be doing other videos soon, maybe like a bookshelf tour or like some of my favorite authors, things like that. So you can definitely expect a few videos from me soon, but just not book review videos yet. But they're definitely coming as soon as I can. And if there's anything you want to see reviewed specifically, once again, just let me know down below in the comments and I'll see if I can get that out for you guys. Until next time, bye!